Quick video to talk about the well water filtration system that I've got set up for this house. It's basically, this whole system cost about $2,000, and then if you add the heat pump 65-gallon water heater, that's another $2,000 for that alone. So if you're trying to do this on a budget, you can definitely go with a less costly water heater than this one. This is a very energy efficient Rheem Prestige model. It's one of their high-end models. It's got the Wi-Fi control, and it's also got this whole top half here, which is a heat pump that heats your water up with very, very low need for electricity. You can see on an annual cost here, even though this is a fully electric model, no gas, it's only $155, which is off the left of the chart on the energy guide. So these are good, but like I said, they're expensive. You could probably get a regular water heater for about $600 for a 50-gallon, but you're going to pay more for this heat pump version. So back to the filtration of the water. My water comes in from the well through this line here. So I've got a main shutoff here. Then I go through this tall filter here, which catches a lot of green gunk that might be in the pipes from the well all the way to my house here. This seems to need to be changed about every month or so, and they're pretty cheap. They're like $6 each or so. I'll put a link to those in the description of the video. And then that goes into the next system here. This is an Aquasana. These are good based on how much water you think you'll use for about 5 years. They have different sizes of them that you can get, and they're mainly filtering with carbon and trying to get taste to be acceptable. Our water tastes pretty good already, so I'm not really sure if I need this piece here, but we have it at our other house, and it was really great tasting water over there, so I didn't want to mess up what was working. So going with this thing yet again. But if you were on a city system where you had a lot of chlorine and fluoride and other stuff in the water that you didn't want to mess with the taste, this would definitely help you to simplify that and clean up your water. So from there, it comes in through this line and goes through this valve at the top of this canister. This is a water softener unit here. This is a Pentair unit. They just rebrand it. This head is called a Fleck head, and it's an electronically controlled valve here that runs a cycle as you can program in your water hardness, and you can tell it, hey, you know, based on my hardness and the amount of water that flows through, because it meters the water, when should it run its regeneration cycles to clean out all the calcium and lime and all the other hardness in the water that it's collected on these metal grates that are inside this tank here, and flush that out. And so it does that on a schedule, and that head at the top is the logic behind it that does that. So the way it does that, it uses this brine tank on the side here, and down in the bottom here, you can see you've got the salt that's piled up down there, and the tank's about half full of water. And what it will do is it'll bypass the water softener at night, and then it'll flush out through the drain line here, which is this blue line. This blue line goes out, and then it comes all the way out to the outside of the house, and then dumps out into a drain that I have to waste. And it'll do that about every 2 weeks or so, or as it needs it, based on the amount of water that's flowed through. And then it'll draw water back into this tank here through this line, which comes all the way down here and connects into the brine tank, and it'll suck that brine solution, that salty water, back in so it can do a clean on the inside of this water softener. And then again, it flushes it out and then blows that out to waste through that blue line there. So after the water softener cycle, you've got another small filter here, and this is another sediment filter. It just catches any gunk or anything that might have come loose in that water softener. This usually is pretty clean. I don't have to change this one, but every 6 months, sometimes a year, they're just not that, doesn't get that dirty on this side here, which is a good thing because it's telling me that the stuff up front is working. And then the next step in my system is I've got a UV light here. This is a Viqua unit. The bulbs that go inside there, they're about $100. You have to replace them every year. the way the system's designed, it's counting down. Right now I've got 291 days before that bulb will need to be refreshed. And you really can't not do that. You've got to replace that bulb because they get pretty fried at the end of a year. They just don't look like they're made to last any longer than that. And they may not, I'm curious to know if it even makes it for a full year. But after that thing counts down to 0, you'll hear it start beeping and beeping, and you can reset it a few times, but it'll keep beeping at you to remind you to swap that bulb out and then reset the whole system. And then that's it. From here, you're going to go right back in, and it's going to go into the rest of the house. There is a patch that goes in for the hot water heater, but it actually will go into the rest of the house, all filtered, all the bacteria that might have made it back here to the UV light hopefully are dead, and you'll have great tasting water. So that's my system. Like I said, all these components here, I think it was about $2,000. I sourced them all on Amazon. And then the water heater we sourced at a local plumbing store, and that was another $2,000. And for us, this has been a great system. We've had it in 2 houses now, and the water tastes great, and you don't have any worries about it, and it's really easy to maintain. All I got to do is swap those filters out every so often, and then add salt as needed into the water softener. So hey, I hope that helped you, and if it did, please give the video a thumbs up, and that'll help other people find it as well. And as always, have a great day.